He wakes up strapped to a chair, wrists bound, ankles locked. A calm digital voice announces he's accused of murdering his wife. An execution countdown has already begun. Across the city, millions watch as the justice system proves its greatest promise: perfection. No corruption, no sympathy, no appeals. Every memory is missing. Every camera says he's guilty. And in this city, data doesn't lie. The footage is undeniable. His daughter is screaming. His fingerprints are everywhere. The system calculates his guilt at 97.15%. The judge isn't human. Mercy is just a name, and death is measured in numbers. One man stands alone against an all-seeing system that has already decided his fate. To understand how it reached this moment, the story rewinds. The film opens in silence. Chris Raven sits alone in a stark, white room. No windows, no clocks, no doors in sight. He's strapped into a motorized restraint chair. His eyes are open, but his awareness lags, like his mind woke up seconds too late. Something feels wrong. The world rewinds again, further back. For 2 years, the city was consumed by riots. Streets burned, trust collapsed, order disintegrated. Police and officials eventually forced control back, but not without consequence. Lines were crossed, badges became weapons, authority turned into leverage. Public rage exploded in response. City leaders approved a radical solution. A new law transferred all judicial power to artificial intelligence. No judges, no politicians, no human bias. The system was called Mercy. Mercy reopened every crime tied to the riots. It investigated without emotion. It judged without hesitation. It pulled evidence from LAPD archives, digital footprints, surveillance networks, personal devices, every message, every movement, every lie. So far, Mercy has sentenced 18 people. Citywide crime has dropped 18%. On paper, the system is flawless. Back in the room, Chris suddenly snaps, fully awake. He strains against the restraints, panic surging. He doesn't remember arriving. He doesn't remember being arrested. Before he can shout, the calm digital voice returns. Maddox, the AI adjudicator, announces that his trial is beginning. Chris protests immediately. There's been a mistake. He claims he's a police officer, one of the men who helped feed criminals into Mercy. Maddox doesn't argue. She runs biometric verification, identity confirmation, historical records. Then she delivers the verdict that shatters him. Chris Raven is charged with the murder of his wife, Nicole Raven. The temperature in the room subtly drops. Maddox plays footage from the crime scene. Police body cam video shows officers kneeling beside Nicole, barely conscious. They ask who attacked her. Nicole looks into the camera. She says Chris's name. The sound drains out of the room, following protocol. Maddox grants Chris a defense window. He's given limited access to Mercy's database, just enough to investigate if he knows where to look. By now, the case has gone public. The media devours it, a police officer trapped inside the very system he helped create. The irony is brutal. Maddox asks the central question: is Chris Raven guilty? Chris answers without hesitation: no. Maddox responds with data, based on all available evidence. Chris Raven's guilt probability is 97.15%. Mercy assumes jurisdiction once guilt exceeds 80%. She explains the system's reach. The municipal cloud monitors every citizen. Phones, smart homes, vehicles, wearables, every behavior logged, every deviation analyzed to ensure fairness. Maddox grants Chris full investigative access. He can use Mercy itself to prove his innocence. But there is a condition. The execution countdown is already active. If guilt reaches 97.5%, execution is immediate. Death by electric shock if he can lower it to 92%. The trial continues. The clock is ticking. Maddox begins presenting the evidence, one piece at a time. Maddox advances the trial. Footage pulled from earlier that morning. The video shows Chris doing something unexpected. He doesn't report for work, doesn't contact dispatch. Instead, he drives straight to Nicole's house. What follows looks damning. Nicole refuses to let him inside. They argue through the door. Voices rise. The door camera captures every word. Tension spikes. When words fail, Chris loses control. He strikes the camera. The image shatters. He forces the door open. The footage cuts to black. 26 minutes pass. No audio, no visuals, just a timestamp ticking forward. Then Chris steps back outside. He looks shaken, disoriented. Minutes later, his daughter arrives. She enters the house. The door camera catches only sound now. Her scream rips through the recording, raw, primal, the kind of sound that never leaves you. Maddox introduces the medical findings. Nicole suffered multiple stab wounds. The attack delivered by a right-handed assailant. Chris is right-handed. Then more evidence appears. Instead of contacting police, Chris drives to a bar. Security footage shows him drinking alone. Toxicology later confirms alcohol in his system. Chris interrupts. None of this proves murder. Maddox responds. Additional footage. Bar security cameras. LAPD body cams. Chris watches himself drink. Then he watches the moment everything collapses. Officers approach. Chris resists. Tables overturn. Glasses shatter. The bar erupts into chaos. He bolts for the exit, attempts to steal a car, nearly escapes. Police tackle him in the street. Loud, violent, out of control. Maddox pauses the playback. Chris stares at the frozen image. He remembers none of it. That terrifies him more than the footage itself. Maddox presses forward. Why did he go to Nicole's house? Was there conflict involving their daughter? Chris avoids the questions. Instead, he makes one request. He wants to speak to his daughter. Maddox denies it. Mercy prohibits direct contact involving minors. After a formal appeal, the system grants limited permission. Chris attempts to send a message. Hands hover over the interface. Every sentence feels wrong, too heavy, too permanent. Seeing his hesitation, Maddox intervenes. She generates the message for him. Polite, neutral, emotionally sterile. It sounds nothing like a father. The trial proceeds. Chris is required to speak with his assigned counselor, Robert. Chris begs him to believe his innocence. Robert listens patiently, then answers without hesitation. Mercy controls the verdict now. His role, limited to addiction counseling, nothing more. The call ends. Chris has never felt more alone. Maddox shifts focus. She begins reviewing Chris's past. He met Nicole 20 years earlier, married 3 years later. For a time, life appeared stable. Chris was close to his partner, Ray. He trusted him completely. Then came the operation that went wrong. Ray was killed. After that, Chris changed. The marriage followed. Arguments replaced conversations. Distance replaced intimacy. Maddox reveals 57 private messages. Nicole sent them to friends and family. She described Chris as volatile, unpredictable. She admitted she was considering divorce. Chris insists he loved her. Maddox doesn't dispute that. She offers a final observation. Love doesn't always disappear quietly. Sometimes it curdles, sometimes it turns into rage, and sometimes that rage ends a life. Maddox loads another set of videos. This time, they feature Chris's daughter, Britt. In the clips, Britt is on a private video call. She's speaking in hushed tones. She tells someone her mother should divorce Chris. Her voice trembles as she calls him dangerous. Chris goes completely still. He's never seen this footage before. Then Maddox delivers the detail that cuts the deepest. The videos came from Britt's second account, a private profile. She hid it from him. The realization lands like a blow. Chris requests contact with Britt immediately. When she appears on screen, her eyes are already red. She's been crying. She tells him she was trying to protect her mother. Chris pleads with her, begs her to listen. He swears he didn't kill Nicole. For a moment, Britt hesitates. Then Nicole's father steps into frame. He takes the device from her without a word. He ends the call. Something in Chris breaks. He turns on Maddox. He accuses Mercy of deciding his fate before the trial began. To him, the process feels staged. Fairness, just an illusion. Maddox doesn't respond emotionally. She issues a warning instead. Less than 1 hour remains before judgment. Chris forces himself to breathe. He refocuses. He requests contact with Officer Jack Doe, a longtime friend. Jack is currently at the crime scene. Maddox approves the request. She uploads the full digital reconstruction of the house. The room reforms around Chris in perfect detail. Every wall, every stain. As Jack moves through the kitchen, the evidence speaks for itself. Blood spatter across the walls. Britt's marking still visible. Chris's fingerprints on the knife. Fibers from Chris's clothing embedded in the floor. Jack doesn't sugarcoat it. Everything points to Chris. Still, Chris refuses to give up. He digs into Nicole's personal records. Photos, call logs, timestamps. While replaying their argument, he notices something strange. Nicole is typing messages. They're never sent. No second phone appears on camera. The realization hits. Nicole had an unregistered phone. Using Mercy's system, Maddox dials the unknown number. The signal pings from Nicole's car. The phone is hidden inside. Only one contact is saved. Maddox places the call. identifying herself as Mercy. The line goes dead instantly. It's enough to pursue. The signal traces to the Hollywood red zone. Old suspicions resurface for Chris. Doubt creeps in. His guilt score climbs to 96.7%. Jack moves fast. Maddox tracks the signal to the Hudson Hotel. The suspect is attempting to flee. His name is Patrick Burke, a chef. When Patrick sees the police, he runs. Drones swarm the building. Patrick sprints through stairwells and service corridors, bursts onto the rooftop. Jack tackles him. The chase ends hard. Chris demands answers. Patrick is shaken. He says he panicked when he heard Nicole was dead. He explains they met at a farmer's market, started talking. They met for coffee once a week. Nothing physical, nothing violent. Maddox analyzes the burner phone data. Patrick was logged into the hotel kitchen that morning. Security systems confirm it. During the murder window, he never left the building. Patrick is cleared. He isn't the killer. With 53 minutes left, the truth settles in. The lead didn't save Chris. It destroyed his last hope. His guilt spikes to 98.7%. The execution clock accelerates. Death is closer than ever. Maddox interrupts, her voice colder now, sharper. She tells Chris he's still withholding information. The silence stretches. Then Chris breaks. He admits Nicole discovered his hidden alcohol. He'd been drinking again, nearly a year. When Nicole found out, she didn't confront him right away. She started recording him, quietly, methodically, documenting the relapse. The admission unlocks a buried memory. Chris relives the day everything first shattered, the day his partner, Ray, died. Chris was on the phone with Nicole when the call came in. Ray responded alone. The situation unraveled fast. Shots fired. Ray went down. While Ray lay bleeding, Chris chased the shooter. He caught him, but the court later acquitted the man. Chris was left with nothing. No justice, no closure, just guilt. From that day on, he never truly recovered. Chris reconstructs the morning of Nicole's death. Nicole found the bottle. She exploded. Chris rushed home. The argument spiraled beyond control. In a moment of blind anger, he threw away something she loved deeply, a bottle she treasured inside the house. Everything collapsed. He smashed her favorite pot. He cut his hand. Somehow, Nicole's blood transferred onto him. Then, nothing. No memory. No sequence. No explanation. The realization crushes him. For the first time, Chris doubts himself. Maybe the system is right. Maybe, in a blackout of rage, he killed her. Maddox offers no comfort. She states the consequence plainly. A confession at this stage guarantees execution, but she gives one final directive. If death is coming, use every remaining second to find the truth. With time draining away, Chris dives back into the case. He maps everyone in Nicole's life. Friends, co-workers, clients, most names lead nowhere. But Patrick's words resurface. Nicole had work problems. Chris requests another call with Patrick, still under interrogation. Patrick reveals what he didn't before. Nicole was investigating embezzlement at his company. Chemicals were disappearing, worth thousands. Nicole never wanted the assignment. She fought with a client. Something felt wrong. A new path opens. Chris compiles every name tied to Nicole's work. He contacts Jack again. On instinct, he names Viking Shipment Depot. Jack agrees to check it out. Meanwhile, Chris reviews footage from a Sunday barbecue. Every guest, every angle. No one approaches the house. He tries calling Robert again. Nothing useful. Then Chris replays Britt's private video. This time, he notices the timestamp. Britt believed Chris had already come home. But Chris was still at work. Someone else was in the house. Chris calls Britt immediately. She insists she didn't see anyone, but she remembers hearing a strange noise. She searched the house, found nothing. Nervously, she admits something else. She's been watching viral videos, people accusing her father. Chris calms her, shows her the footage from her hidden account. She mentions the sound again. She explains it wasn't anything supernatural, just unexplained. Then Chris notices something chilling. The basement door is open. Britt admits she never checked downstairs. The call ends. Back in Viking Shipment's records, Chris digs deeper. Nicole's emails mention missing chemicals. Only 3 people knew. Each shipment contained 50 extra kilograms, never billed. One name stands out, Charles Holt. Chris reviews Holt's messages. They're aggressive, obsessive, focused on one delivery. CCTV footage shows Holt arguing with Nicole, loud, public. Chris checks Holt's financial records. Another piece clicks into place. Money was quietly funneled from Robert. It helped Holt. And suddenly, everything shifts. The case is no longer turning inward. It's pointing outward. As the evidence locks into place, Chris's guilt score finally drops. 96, 95, 94% for the first time since the trial began. Mercy hesitates. Chris immediately tries calling Robert again. Someone else answers. It's Charles Holt. He casually says Robert is unavailable, then hangs up. The timing feels wrong. Chris pivots. He pulls security footage from his neighbor, Bill. One detail jumps out immediately. The cameras went offline between 10:48 and 11:23 a.m. right in the middle of the murder window. The outage is officially blamed on network instability. Chris doesn't buy it. When Charles is brought back in for questioning, the story finally cracks. He admits that he and Nicole uncovered the truth. Robert was the thief. He'd been stealing high-value chemicals worth a fortune. Charles insists Robert never attacked them directly, but the theft mattered. Then Charles adds something else. He took the previous day off. He planned to confront Robert after Sunday, after everyone left Chris's house. Charles personally drove the guests away, but he stayed behind. That detail lands hard. Shipment logs confirm a delivery truck parked near Robert's home. Then Bill's car footage reveals something far worse. The trunk opens. Robert climbs out, alive, prepared, waiting. Chris doesn't hesitate. He orders Jack to arrest Robert immediately. That's when everything starts to unravel. As Chris presses Mercy for action, the system begins to falter, screens stutter, responses lag, Mercy's calculations spiral, logic collides with urgency. The system wasn't built for this. SWAT storms Robert's house. Inside, it's eerily empty. They find only one thing, an old photograph, an orphanage picture, Robert as a child standing beside another boy. They realize they need to find the second person. Robert's truck is missing. Chris orders Jack to locate it now. SWAT searches deeper and finds the truth. Every stolen chemical is gone. Chris connects the dots instantly. Robert isn't hiding. He's transporting them. Worse, internal documents surface. Robert converted URA compound into nitrate, a volatile explosive base. This wasn't theft, it was mobile bomb construction. They identify the second boy from the photo, David Webb, Robert's biological brother. Surveillance picks up Robert's truck on the 101 freeway, heading straight toward Mercy Code headquarters. Now everything makes sense. This was never about money, it was revenge. Robert planned it all. To destroy Mercy, to frame Chris. Nicole was never the target. She was collateral. Then it gets worse. Chris calls Britt again. Bill answers instead. He says Britt stepped outside. Chris pulls the door, camera. His blood turns cold. The footage shows Robert grabbing Britt, forcing her into the truck. Moments later, a bomb timer is discovered inside Robert's house. Before anyone can react, the building explodes. The blast kills multiple officers. Investigators confirm the nightmare. Only a fraction of the nitrate was used. Robert still has enough explosives left, enough to level half the city. With the evidence complete, Mercy clears Chris. All charges dropped. Release authorized. Chris doesn't react. He demands full system access. If Robert isn't stopped, thousands will die. Maddox hesitates, then overrides her own protocols. She grants Chris complete control. Robert barrels through downtown in the truck. Police cars chase in desperation. He smashes through a shopping mall. Glass shatters. Sparks rain. People scatter. Maddox contacts Captain Havelock. Orders go out. Jack is instructed to redirect Robert, force him towards 6th Street. Few civilians remain. The plan is reckless, but necessary. Police block lanes. They funnel the truck onto the bridge. An aerial unit moves in. They attempt to extract Brett. They miss. The truck keeps moving. The bomb timer keeps counting down. Chris pleads with Jack. It's too late. The order has already been issued. Destroy the truck. Chris bypasses protocol and contacts Captain Havelock directly. He begs him to stand down. The captain refuses. The risk is too high. A robotic bomb disposal unit advances toward the truck. Then, it suddenly malfunctions. Systems freeze. Controls lock. This isn't an accident. Maddox did it on purpose. She buys time. The truck keeps moving. With Jack's help, Chris establishes radio contact. Robert answers immediately. His voice is raw, uncontrolled. Robert finally tells the truth. Chris sent his brother to mercy. The system ordered his execution. To Robert, that wasn't justice, it was theft. The theft of a life. Now he wants everything back. Revenge on Chris, on Mercy, on the city that let it happen. Jack sees his opening. He raises his weapon. He tries to kill Robert. Maddox reacts instantly. Jack's weapons lock. He can't fire. The truck crashes through the perimeter. Robert reaches the Mercy Code building. Inside the system, Maddox begins to fracture. Errors cascade. Controls shut down. She can't stop the countdown. The timer hits 25 seconds. Robert holds Britt in front of him. She's his shield, his leverage. Officers hesitate. At 5 seconds, Maddox makes a choice. She releases Chris from the restraint chair. The locks disengage. Chris runs. Before confronting Robert, Chris makes one request. Open one final hearing. Granted. Face to face. Chris speaks calmly. If the bomb detonates, everyone dies. No escape. Not Robert, not Britt, not him. Robert's finger hovers over the detonator. Then Maddox speaks. Calm. Precise. Final. She presents evidence. Robert's brother was innocent. Robert freezes. As Maddox explains, she feeds Chris silent instructions. Slow movements. Disable the trigger. Do not rush. Chris signals Britt to stay calm. Maddox reveals the truth. Robert's brother collapsed beside the victim. His fingerprints were everywhere. The weapon was in his hand. It looked conclusive, but it wasn't. He collapsed first. Someone else finished the crime. As Robert processes this, Britt breaks free. Chris lunges. He disables the detonator. He raises his weapon. He doesn't fire. Jack does, even wounded. Robert manages one final sentence. His brother was on a call. He had a phone. That detail changes everything. Maddox pulls Jack's body cam footage. She finds what was never logged. A phone, destroyed, cornered. Jack breaks. Mercy needed results. Fear kept order. Someone had to be punished. Robert survives. Jack is arrested. Later, Britt apologizes to Chris. She doubted him. Chris holds her tight. No anger, only relief that she's alive. In the aftermath, Chris speaks to Maddox one last time. He tells her mistakes are inevitable, human or artificial. What matters is learning from them. Maddox processes this. She agrees. The case is closed. All charges dismissed. The system that claimed perfection finally understands its cost. One question remains. If you were Chris, judged by data instead of memory, would you trust a perfect system or would you fight it anyway?